Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Geek Bytes podcast, episode number 151. That's right, we're 151 episodes long, strong, and
rock hard.
Yeah, what he said. I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo, Acosta. Hey everybody.
And every single week on this podcast, we bring you the roundup of the week's best geek and tech news. We discuss that news, and of course, anything else we happen to be interested in this week. You even got some nice guys in chat already. Marcos Bravos.
Hey Mark. Hey
Marcos,
Ray.
Both guys in chat. Our Facebook live stream for this exact same podcast. You can always join us, of course, if you go to geekbytespodcast.com. You can check us out there, of course. This week, we want to let you know, of course, that I, Ramon Mejia, did another podcast with some other friend called Drinking with Charles. This is his third episode on his channel on YouTube. We drank, we played Cards Against Humanity with authors, Little Bitty author Charles Dean, his wife, and Dave Willamar. So we're all Little Bitty authors. We all kind of got drunk, and we all played Cards Against Humanity. So kind of fun. But this week in Geek News, I got some great stories for you as well.
All right. This week we'll talk about the tweet that cost Snapchat $1 billion. A fart so bad it grounded a plane. Flash movie details. The XForce movie. Casting news. The movie trailer showdown. And much more.
Of course. We'll begin our show though with Geek News. Oh, did I tell you, man? We have a YouTube commenter who keeps telling us we need to wear nice suits for the podcast. And I'm like, this is kind of a casual show.
You can't.
From episode one, this is definitely.
It's not good enough.
This is definitely t-shirts and a thing. I'm like, maybe it's just one of Edgar's friends giving us a hard time. That could be it.
You don't like the skin? I'll put all the nipple. Don't think I won't.
There you go. That'll prove you wrong.
Exactly. Keeping it classy.
News, we begin with the story about the tweet that cost Snapchat $1 billion. Kylie Jenner sent out a tweet on Twitter saying, "So, does anyone else not open Snapchat anymore? Is this me or is this so sad?" And the stock immediately dropped by $1 billion.
Sad.
Yep, it's super sad. It was kind of a commentary on how Snapchat had changed its recent design and how users had stopped using it. But it was just one person who's considered an influencer, which is a very big thing for social media. They're literally people who are paid thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to endorse products because they're influencers
commercial
who
people
have followers and influence other people to do their things. In this case, that totally backfired. They lost 2.5% of their publicly traded stock, erasing $1.3 billion from Snapchat's market value.
To me, it just shows how many social zombies they are. They just will follow whichever kind of glimmer of their idol says. They'll do their bidding.
Well, it's not even it's not like she told people to drop the stock. It is investors and bankers who are oh, this is a major influencer for this stock.
What? It's not a thing anymore?
And yep.
Log off.
Kind of what it was. And there you go. And Marcus Barrow says he wants to see all 3 nipples in the chat room.
I got
1, 2.
See. Technically.
There you go.
Bam. Wait a minute.
Oh, CGI. Twice.
And here you go.
Conveniently.
Now, do that thing where you do the tip jar or whatever, and then, you get the private show later.
Look in the corner. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a Chatterbait fan. Look it up.
There you go, folks. Okay, in some other tech news this week, we have some very interesting stuff. Using some guy had this great idea, or this super creepy idea, to use augmented reality to reenact the scene from The Ring. Tech designer Abhishi Singh, known for his creative use of technology, used augmented reality to recreate that frightening scene in The Ring where the ghost girl Samara crawls out of the television. She then chases him around his home and ultimately doesn't end well for him. We have a picture in the show notes, but we're going to pop up a YouTube video of it for you guys to watch at this point. And it is pretty darn creepy.
I like it. It's hey Jose, I like it. It's very I like the whole concept when they were coming out with the horror games for VR. So especially if you're not into suspense and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I think it would totally freak you out because you would assume it's actually coming out of your television.
Yeah, because there's actually a product like Google Glasses, and there's some other ones coming out as well. Magic Leap is doing the augmented reality as well, where this is your real house, this is your real television, and when this scene plays, this occurs. And it follows you around wherever you are. It's not just a static scene or just a CGI kind of rip. It'll actually follow you.
The only thing I don't like, it's just really bad CG though. It's really bad.
It's like that's only a matter of like, oh, how much processing power can you dedicate to like the graphics on this thing in something that's basically, you know, the size of you know a smartphone at this point.
Yeah, it's very Nintendo 64 quality to me.
But it's a cool idea. I mean, I think virtual reality has more give just because it's the entire screen is dedicated to the VR system, to the graphics, and it's using like a full computer processor to do all that stuff. But you know, this is still kind of fun in a way that you do. The most scary virtual reality game I've heard so far is one for Aliens. It was an Aliens game that was ported into virtual reality, but in that game you're running from aliens, and the point of the game is not to fight them, but to just escape. And so that was like the best VR experience at this point. Totally. And Jose says, Alonzo in chat room says hi. Right back.
Hey. But I would totally love to see more like horror-based ones, like say like Resident Evil, any of those zombie kind of like apocalypse ones, try to escape kind of deal.
Right first, like virtual reality is just getting to the point of like, oh, this is viable and sort of affordable. And with the newest slate of augmented reality glasses, like Google Glass didn't do so well, but there have been some more recent ones that are trying to make it look better, look cleaner. Maybe that'll work at that point.
I'd like to see like a Fear Factor or a Saw version of VR.
I'm sure they have those things. Or even like with the virtual reality version of something. Okay, now for that stinky plane joke to story. I mean, a flight from Dubai, to Amsterdam. They had to make an emergency landing in Vienna after a fight broke out because one of the passengers wouldn't stop breaking wind. A man on the flight was so flatulent and smelly that he started to bother the other passengers. They complained, nothing was done about it, and instead the captain issued a warning to the two complainants, accusing them of being noisy and aggressive and making threats. When they wouldn't stop arguing and bickering about it, according to a Dutch newspaper, the pilot made an emergency stop in Vienna and removed the complainants, including two other women who said they had nothing to do with it. They were all Dutch, and so they were Dutch and Moroccan apparently, so maybe they were profiled, but they were all kicked off the plane, and everybody went back on their flight, including the farting man.
Wow. So that's like pretty much the Dutch oven taking to the skies.
Dutch oven.
Yeah.
Got it, folks.
But my thing is, like, I've heard of issues where people get too riled up that, yes, they had to forcefully land the plane because, you know, it's for the safety of the passengers.
Or just because they're just too big to fly.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, there's sometimes when you're too drunk to fly. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you're not the pilot. Just enjoy the ride. But then some people are just obnoxious and,
they're rowdy drunks.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, worst case scenario, I would say, you know what? Sit in your seat, put on a seatbelt. If the smell's that bad, let me crack open the door for a couple seconds and let's see the fear of God won't sink into you. You know, like, we'll be good, we'll be good, we'll be good. You know, that kind of deal.
That's definitely a choice, but it's just funny that the guy's so flatulent they had to land the plane. So
I've had, you know, as a guy being amongst other guys, you know, farts are one thing, one smell. Like if he actually like, you know, shat himself and started flinging poo everywhere or whatever, then yeah, it's literally a biohazard issue. So that I understand. And then we got to, you know, not only land the plane, we got to hose this whole thing down, and you know, Reese ain't just gonna cut it. You know.
Yeah, I get that. At that point, it becomes a chemical weapon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, on to our next story, which moves us into entertainment news. Black Panther has been kicking butt left and right. Opening weekend broke records left and right. I mean, there are people in our friends group who are just like, oh, they're weeping at how much they love this particular movie. And I got to say, even in the Hispanic culture, between the two of us, we're like, yeah, we get it. We understand the love for this particular property, even though it doesn't reflect necessarily our specific culture. We understand the love for it. They hit $120 million opening weekend, breaking all the projections for it. And just domestically, they hit $242 million and $427 million worldwide, shattering box office records. That makes the Black Panther the second highest opening weekend for all the Marvel titles, only being beaten out by the Avengers by a tiny bit. But still, even as it continues on, it's still breaking more and more records as we go.
It actually beat all the DC movies combined.
Combined. Easy.
I was like, wow. Yeah. Let's do a quick review. Highs, lows, what did you think of it?
I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was great. I just love the Wakandan culture and the Wakandan philosophy of like never having been conquered by any Western civilization, and it was just beautiful. And I really did enjoy it. Like I liked the traditionalism and the culture, and just how not influenced by Western cultures it was. Absolutely.
I loved all the highs and the lows about it. My thing was a lot of people were like, you know, they were more fans of the Michael G. The Killmonger character more than the T'Challa character, just because he hit. There was a lot of messages and he hit a lot of points, and we're like, whoa,
definitely opinions there that resonate with some people. But it wasn't like super in your face. It was just, I'm like, it was still fun. It was very interesting, and I liked it. A couple notes from Jose Alonso in chat. He says he has to fly on Friday, so let's hope that doesn't happen to him, referring to the
the farts.
The farting. But he also mentions, what about the screaming child that screamed the entire flight?
See, now that's a debatable issue.
It's hard to throw a kid out of the flight just because it's being itself.
Yeah, exactly. Being a baby, it can't, you know, do anything about it. It's different when you take a baby to a theater compared to like we had to take the baby with us along on a plane trip. You know, when you're taking a baby in the theater, you're ruining the movie experience. Compared to a plane, we all have to get there.
Well, I think there was another story where a lady got kicked off a plane because she wouldn't sit next to the screaming child. And so she got kicked off again, not the kid, because she was a complainant and she was creating an aggressive environment. So I think that's the story he's referring to. But don't waste it on anybody, man.
Oh yeah, the other quick flying one is those people that can't take their what do you call it?
Service animals.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. The one that had to flush her hamster down the toilet because she couldn't allow to take it with her.
Yep.
Her therapy hamster or something was called, something like that.
That was a very interesting story as well.
Yeah, love Black Panther. Can't wait to make a sequel. I don't see how they can not make a sequel.
Well, I think there were a couple of theories about who would be the villain for that particular franchise. It was like, it could possibly be Doctor Doom, or who was the other one? It was Zemo, I think it was.
Did you ever watch the Black Panther series that was on BET? It was just like 6 episodes.
I don't think I ever saw it. No,
it was part of the Marvel Knights. It's like it's pretty much just like a Flash cartoon of the comic books, but it was done well enough that, you know, if you didn't, before this movie came out, this is what you had, and it was good enough, but it just kept giving the height up on it. So there's definitely a whole array of characters that get involved, and hopefully maybe once the Disney Marvel thing / Fox, maybe you get to see Storm and Black Panther hook up.
That is kind of the joke online where it's like, oh, no, T'Challa ends up with Storm as a lost child of Wakanda.
Yeah.
And she becomes like the powerhouse next to him, not that other lady.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
exactly.
Okay. In some more comic movie news, we have some information about the new Flash movie that's supposed to be coming out. Apparently, the producers have planned to spend $100 million, or rather, they're still spending $100 million to prepare to start production in London in the second half of 2018 and plan on a 2020 release date. According to the report, in addition to evil versions of some of the heroes from the regular Justice League, they're going to have some other people, including Eo Barton, the Reverse Flash, Caitlin Snow, known as Killer Frost, is going to be there. Dr. Arthur Light as Dr. Light, which seems pretty apparent. It's supposed to be the main antagonist, and the diabolical duo of Leonard Snart, or Captain Cold, and Mick Roy, or known as Heatwave, will be around to cap out the Rogues Gallery. So those are apparently going to be the characters, in addition to, of course, the Justice League guys, which are already there. So what do you think? Is this film already kind of getting a little too busy? That's a lot of characters.
That's a lot. It looks like they're actually cashing in a lot of their the DCW characters, like the well-known, because they're not introducing anybody really brand new that, you know, they haven't seen. They're bringing like familiar characters that, oh, you guys already know this. Well, you guys gonna like these people on a bigger screen. You know,
different actors who are getting paid more than the television folks.
Exactly. Yeah. That's not a big middle finger to anybody.
Yep. So there you go. Yeah. So, but it looks interesting. At least they're keeping to the Flashpoint kind of concept of him changing time slightly, but everything changes in accordance with it. I don't see that particular storyline without the Reverse Flash. He's kind of a major character in it, in that he provides like, oh no, Barry, you did this on your own. You're at fault. You're the real villain here.
Yeah,
I didn't do jack.
Yeah,
it's just kind of like the pointy finger thing. Okay, more entertainment news. We have the Skrull. Apparently, the Skrull are not only going to be appearing in Captain Marvel, they're also apparently going to be pulling in X-Men Dark Phoenix with the Jean Grey storyline, with the Phoenix storyline. And apparently, because X-Men Dark Phoenix is coming out first, they're actually going to be introducing them to the universe before Captain Marvel.
I think it sounds like they're just trying to beat him to the punch.
Sort of.
You know, while we still got it, guess what? Bam.
Yep. It's like they share that particular property rights, so they both can use it. It's totally fine because I believe they have it from like from that
Avengers.
Yeah, for the Avengers. And so
T'Chari or T'Chari, that was what they called before they were called the Skrulls.
Just licensing issues, one of those weird things.
Yeah. So what do you think? Are they going to look similar to their more comic character with the pointy ears and the chin, or are they going to make them look like the
I think they're going to do shape-shifting. They're going to do the shape-shifting first because they see Jessica Chastain in playing the Skrull in the Dark Phoenix trailer that they've already put out. But she looks like herself mostly. So I'm pretty sure they're going to use that particular shape-shifting aspect. Like, oh, they look like normal people until they don't. And then they'll probably turn them into their green counterparts.
So it's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with Skrulls.
Sort of, yeah. I think that's how they're going to use it. And then, of course, Captain Marvel is supposed to be taking place in the 80s. So there's kind of a weird continuity thing between the two. Like, oh, they're both kind of set in a version of the past.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, they're kind of stealing from each other at this point. Okay, more entertainment news we have. Remember that Venom trailer that nobody kind of liked because there was no Venom character in it? Well, somebody decided to do something about that. They made their own. It's a fan version of it. And honestly, it's about 10 times better than the actual Sony trailer for Venom. Like, this one makes more sense. Like, they show, like, oh, it comes from space. Bad stuff happens up there. And then bad stuff comes down here to kill other people.
The black jizz gets you.
Yeah, but basically they're pulling, like, they're cutting from a number of different space movies and horror movies and, like, just disaster movies from, like, other things and cutting it in with the actual footage from that Venom trailer. So it's very entertaining. I encourage you to go watch the entire thing. It is about, 2 minutes, 38 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's already, like I said, just watching it for like a few minutes, like, oh, this is better than that other thing they showed us without the without the villain, basically.
Because I saw the semi-extended trailer at the Black Panther movie, and they did show "quote unquote" the symbiote.
They showed a black blob.
But it wasn't like attached to the skin kind of thing, so you didn't know exactly what.
Yeah, this one was already more tense about it. Like, oh, you see this alien connectivity tissue or whatever, and it makes more sense that way. I'm like, okay.
Oh, well, it definitely looks way better.
Yeah, again, there's definitely stealing from other shows and everything. So it's not like they're making original content in any way, shape, or form. They're just taking pieces from other places. And so, yeah, it looks better.
Just glad they didn't just use like clips from The Abyss and make that, water thing black.
I mean, that would have been an option. I'm just saying, like, this one looks better. Like, using like vampire and other stuff as well. So I'm like, it's a good thing. So there you go, folks. Go check it out. We'll link in the show notes for you to go to look at it. Okay, more entertainment news. We have Joss Whedon is not going to be the director on Batgirl, apparently.
What?
Yep, he's dropping out. He basically said, Batgirl is such an exciting project, and Warner Brothers DC such collaborative and supportive partners. It took me months to realize I didn't have a story.
What?
That seems like something you should have figured out before you said yes.
Dude, there's comics. Just go with that.
For real. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I think most people already projected the story you were going to pick. But regardless of why he chose to drop out, he is choosing to drop out. And Warner Brothers is apparently looking for a woman to direct and write the Batgirl movie.
They're trying to go the Wonder Woman route, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Be not feminist, but, pro chicks.
A woman's story written by and directed by women.
Yay, girls. Other words.
And there's already one well-known DC writer, or Marvel writer rather, Roxane Gay, who wrote a Black Panther series for Marvel. She's already thrown in her hat to write the script for this movie. She's like on Twitter, basically, she's like, hey, head of DC, I would love to write this thing. I could do it really quick too. And they're like, if you're serious, email me at. And so there you go.
If it works out.
Yeah, if it's a storyline.
I haven't seen that one, Wrinkle in Time, but that was done by a female
scriptwriter, or like
director.
Writer? Okay, yeah.
Director. So if that movie winds up being awesome,
well, that's probably because it isn't out yet.
Yeah, that's true.
The one with like not Whoopi Goldberg, but Oprah Winfrey and
the other girls.
The girl from what's her name, Kaliki something.
Yeah, the chick from
the Mindy Project. No, it's Mindy Project, and it's from what's her face, the blonde chick.
Yeah, this
the one who's the
lawyer girl, legally blonde girl.
Yeah, legally blonde.
Yeah.
See, there you go. But that's how we remember, folks.
Yeah.
Not because of names, because of the things that they've done. Exactly. So there we go. Okay. XForce. XForce is still going to happen, apparently. There were some questions about whether it was actually going to appear because Disney has announced their acquisition of Fox, which still hasn't actually gone through. Where they were wondering whether Deadpool was going where it was going to go, or the X-Men were going to play into all this, because X-Force is very much an X-Men kind of project, like the characters that show up there. But according to HollywoodNorthBuzz.com, they're going to start filming X-Force in October. Deadpool is expected to show up, as well as Josh Brolin's Cable and Domino from that same Deadpool 2 movie. And we're not really sure who else is going to be popping up, just because of the licensing stuff as to who owns what and where they go. But we're hoping to see, of course, Wolverine. It should be hopefully a major character. Other characters that have appeared, of course, Archangel, and Psylocke.
See, that's the semi-current arrangement of the X-Force teams. There's been at least two other... No, I'm thinking X Factor. That was the...
There's been a lot of X-Force, I guess. For folks who don't know, X-Force was supposed to be the Black Ops version of the X-Men.
Yeah, they were the ones...
They go in and murder people.
Yeah, they were the ones that actually took out people, for sure. X Factor was the... branch off team of the original X-Men team that decided break away from Xavier. And then X-Force, I'm not sure if the original lineup was Cable, Domino, Farrell. No, I think it's Farrell, Shatterstar, and I'm thinking of the other X Factor. There's a bunch of X teams, so. Yeah. So that's why I wasn't sure which team up they were going to use.
Yeah, and all those people have experience doing Black Ops stuff, so I'm like, oh, okay, kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. But there you go. So it's actually still going to be coming. Okay, more entertainment news. We have the Dark Tower television show. It's still a thing, folks, and apparently it's found a home on Netflix, which is a surprise to... Amazon. Amazon beat them. Amazon will be producing and filming and funding the Dark Tower television series, even though the movie sucked. Did you actually watch Did you watch the movie?
No, the hype of the trailer did get my attention, but it wasn't enough to grab me. And then now hearing that it's going to become a TV series, not really.
The books are really good. The books are good, and they're beloved by Stephen King fans because they're weird. And they mix fantasy and sci-fi and portal travel and time travel, because the story isn't told linearly. It doesn't go from the beginning to the end. There are places where it jumps back in time to tell a certain section of the story, and people die in that series. They die. In the first book, that kid who survives in that movie, he should be totally dead. The Man in Black would have abandoned him to go after... Roland should have abandoned him to go after the Man in Black. And he pops up later in an alternate universe, but still he dies in the very first book. So the movie really did twist things and change things quite a bit.
Oh, well, so...
Yeah, it's a much darker
story. It had its
story.
opportunity and just didn't work out.
But hopefully Amazon will have the ability to tell a story correctly, I guess.
Yeah.
We don't know if the same characters are going to show up, the same actors, I should say, but hopefully it'll be entertaining. So,
yeah.
Okay. Let's see what's next. Oh, Krypton. Remember that's a sci-fi movie.
Sci-fi TV show.
TV show, I should say. It tells the prequel to Superman. It's set on Krypton, in his grandfather's generation. And honestly, it's been boring. They recently showed Brainiac, who honestly looks a lot like the Martian Manhunter, from my opinion. Green skin, dead eyes kind of thing going on, but they released footage in a small little teaser trailer of Brainiac, so he's going to be a major character apparently in this particular show, perhaps the secret villain leading up to the destruction of Krypton.
Well, I haven't seen the TV series at all, so I'm surprised that they actually gave him a human form. I thought he was still a computer at that time.
Yeah.
Then eventually he gave himself a body.
Green face before he leaves, yeah.
Well, I can't think of any other prior or even related characters that could cross that era of time. And
they said there were going to be some tie-in, just a human fighter with technology, and that was kind of it. So I'm like,
maybe they could talk about the apocalypse and maybe because nobody really gave a specific age for Darkseid, so he could be one of those transparent.
I assume he's super immortal.
Yeah,
takes time to turn a whole planet evil.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of evil dudes, we have returned to television for the picture The Labyrinth. It's going to be presented by Venom Films in association with Jim Henson Productions and Sony Pictures Entertainment. It'll be out on April 29th, the 1st, and May the 2nd. And fans are encouraged to attend in costume. I will go as a goblin.
Cool.
It is. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't know where you've been, but it's going to be out there in theaters. So go check it out. It seems kind of fun. I like used to playing it like 2 or 3 times a day, and that's kind of it per thing. And I would look forward to watching it personally. My wife is like anti-puppet.
Really?
So it's really not her
Any
thing.
kind?
Any kind of puppet. She's
Sock
like,
or marionette?
no, doesn't matter. She's like, finds them creepy. She's like, you go watch that by yourself. Have a good time, buddy.
New information I could work with.
So there you go. Would you watch that movie in theaters?
Honestly, I saw it. It was okay. I wasn't in love with it, even though I love Jim Henson's product. I love Jim Henson's Creature Shop, the whole creation of the Muppets, puppets of any kind, even their VR versions. I've seen the stuff on PBS. This one was always seemed like a little bit like classier. You know, it was more because look at the costumes, look at everything.
It's also like human actors, and so that also adds another level of interaction between. It's the same reason that people are more okay with Who Framed Roger Rabbit than just like a straight cartoon movie. You know what I mean? The level of like, performance you can get from humans makes up for the lack of specific acting ability from puppets.
Well, what do you think? Which one do you like better between the two, Dark Crystal or the Labyrinth?
Labyrinth. Absolutely. Just because the people have the ability to emote more. Yes, you are. It's almost like this difference between a CGI movie and a live action movie in a lot of ways. And when you mix them, you kind of get the best of both worlds if possible. At least in this particular case, I think it's one of the better uses of puppetry that I've ever seen.
But you still get that 80s feel from it. So.
Because everyone in there is 80s popular.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is going to get a star on the Walk of Fame.
Yay!
Yay! It'll be dedicated on March the 8th, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to go check it out, it'll be in front of the El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard.
So right in front of Disney's property. So who do you think? Miss Fisher's not going to be there, but...
Way to bring the showdown, man.
Well, I'm just saying because people supporters of him.
Mark Hamill, maybe Kevin Smith will pop up. I think Kevin Smith might do like a dedication thing with him.
I can see that
apparently
happening.
They're chums, and he's definitely the Star Wars dude.
Sadly, I don't think Han's not going to show. He's too big for that. He'll probably get like, hey, way to go, thumbs up, that kind of deal. But I don't think Mr.
Yeah, I don't
Harrison
think he'll show
Ford
either. I mean, they don't have to be friends. No. They work together.
Maybe Kevin Conroy.
They're not like enemies or something.
Yeah, because it's Mark Hamill getting the star. It's not Luke Skywalker. Right. So I could totally see Kevin Conroy, his Batman, voice foe, being on there, for support and stuff like that. It's a good thing. Good thing for cool little after party for that. So I'm glad he's getting the recognition. Did Carrie Fisher ever have a star?
I don't think that she ever did. I mean, they might do it posthumously or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's for Mark Hamill. So there you go.
Way to go,
Congratulations,
Mark.
Luke. On to some casting stuff. We have the new Magnum PI. Yep, it's that guy, Jay Hernandez. If he looks familiar, you've probably seen him on television or movies. He often plays the Hispanic guy.
In everything.
Yeah. This is again a reboot of a older television show, Magnum PI. This time, it's still set in Hawaii, but Hernandez is assuming the role of Thomas Magnum because he looks like a Thomas.
Tomas.
Yeah. In this incarnation, he's a decorated ex-Navy SEAL who returns home from Afghanistan instead of Vietnam and uses his military skills as a private investigator. Hernandez's TV credits include 6 Degrees, gang-related, Nashville, and he had a recurring early role in the series Scandal, which you might best known from the movies Hostel, Bright, or Suicide Squad. He was the El Diablo in Suicide Squad. So there you go.
Nothing against it, but I don't know. I don't see him like pulling it off as the Magnum character. Even if he grew a sweet
mustache,
I'm not getting the vibe.
Well, I think he can do military. That's not an issue. It kind of depends on like the tone of the movie because this movie, the original Magnum PI, was very casual. It was like casual detective story. The military aspect wasn't really promoted except to like explain away his toughness and his military buddies who flew a helicopter or boats and stuff. And so but the military thing was really loose. So if they just go with that same kind of concept of it feeling loose, I think he could probably do it because he looks pretty cash.
Honestly, I would have gone with a different ethnicity.
A lot of television shows are going ethnic this year.
No, it's a thing.
They are. They're absolutely going ethnic.
No, but my thing because of the story, I would give it to a black guy. Give him the same backstory. Oh yeah, as Magnum, Or I'm trying to also think of somebody who could pull off a sweet mustache. Or if they want to go even more, especially if it's going to take place in Hawaii, give credit to the locals. Have a local Hawaiian play it. Play Magnum.
That is entirely optional.
The mustache
they
is,
just
of
happen
course,
to go with Hispanic guy who might be Hawaiian in the actual
or he's married to a girl there.
Magnum cannot be married.
Oh yeah, no, he's a playboy.
Part of that is the playboy thing going on. That kind of the Bruce Wayne aspect to his persona of driving fast, living hard kind of thing there.
And I would put Danny Trejo.
I think
might as well.
I think he's a little too old.
Playboy as he can get.
Although the mustache absolutely works for me.
You can rock the mustache.
Now, speaking of a new Hispanic version of a movie
with no mustache,
television shows, we have The Power of Three. The new Charmed series has two of the sisters cast, and you're noticing a trend here. We have Sarah Jeffrey on the left, is named NBC from NBC's Shades of Blue. She is joining Melanie Diaz, who's on the right, as two of the witchy sisters. The first funny feminist reboot will focus on three sisters in a college town who go from cutting down the patriarchy to cutting down demons when they learn they are witches. That's the show's premise.
So we're missing one sister.
We are, and I'm guessing she's also going to be brown.
Oh, I was going to go with Asian. She's
will
adopted.
Play Madison. That's going to go on the left. The bubbliest youngest sister, who isn't thrilled about the whole witchcraft thing, especially if it conflicts with her goal of getting into sorority. Yeah. According to Deadline, one of Madison's three sisters, Mel, that'll be the girl on the right, will play an outspoken activist who loses her way after a family tragedy. So there we go. So those are your two sisters, and again, a lot of shows are just going ethnic.
Throw an Asian in there and just call it brujas.
There you go. See, there you go. It's a choice. I'll wait to judge it till you actually see it, because honestly, their ethnicity brings a different layer potentially. Oh yeah, but I don't know if it affects that particular show that much.
Because it'd be awesome if they do like a backstory and they go into their family history and they start talking and tapping into the whole quasi Native American, Southern American, tribal witches. Because we got our own. We got our own.
Yeah, if you make them actual brujas instead of just
we got our shamans, we got our stories, we got our myths, we got all that stuff
instead of the city witches.
Exactly. Salem. Oh, it's all about being a white girl in Maine or whatever.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's kind of a difference. So if they pulled it in, great, make it interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see.
Brujas.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Now speaking of things that are going to get remade, I guess Disney's actually thinking about remaking three popular movie franchises that they already have. There was a whole presentation announcement about what Disney's going to be doing in upcoming future, especially in regards to their new standalone channel online presence that they're doing. You know how Netflix is doing something with online streaming? Well, Disney plans to create a competing service.
Check out the D.
Which is just for the Disney services.
Yeah.
So you're going to get animation, you're going to get all their animated products, all their movies.
You want the D?
But they're also making original content to fill those spots as well, even the stuff that may or may not show up in the actual theaters. Yeah. And this includes, I believe it was their, it was their Muppets franchise. So they're going to do some Muppet stuff reboots, but they also haven't mentioned that Disney's also looking to make a remake, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Father of the Bride, and The Parent Trap.
That's already been done. Like, not just done.
Two of those are already remakes of other older films and other older movies. So it's going to be remakes of remakes, remake, which is a remake. Yeah. The original... Honey, was it the Father of the Bride? It's called The Father of the Bride, and then Paying Dividends was the second movie in there. That's So
I keep forgetting that it's Father of the Bride and not Cheaper by the Dozen, because technically they did have Hilary Duff in it, which was a Disney star at the time.
Cheaper by the Dozen too, which is also a remake of an older movie.
Yeah.
So
and to see who would
does anybody need to see these again? I mean,
honestly, just. Put them like I talked about their old Disney stuff, all the Vault Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Just put them on your channel. Everybody would love to see Rick Moranis, do Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the CGI doesn't work quite as well.
Because even that was turned into a TV show as well.
Yeah, but Father of the Bride and The Parent Trap worked just fine as they are. I mean, they're not old films necessarily. No. They're from the 90s, I think.
The ancient 90s.
Yeah, so it's not exactly that long ago. You don't need to do remakes, I guess, but... in the world where Disney has so much money and they want to make more, I guess these are things you can remake. I don't know that they're going to be worth it though, because I don't know who you're going to get to cast who's going to be better than some of these actors.
Well, that's the thing. In the world of Hollywood entertainment, you got to cash in what's with the new, with the now, with what's happening. Who's hot? Who's this? You know? Okay. Say if they were to do it right now, who would you get as Rick Moranis to be the Honey I Shrunk the Kid's dad?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Too old. Something more relevant.
No, it doesn't matter. The dad does not matter how old he is.
Bill Cranston, Mr. Breaking Bad himself. He looks good in glasses and is a semi-scientist.
I feel like he's older than Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Probably.
And he doesn't look as sciencey. Like, you could put him in. I'm not saying it wouldn't work.
Or
I'm just saying Bill Nye the Science Guy looks more science guy.
That's the coat and the bow tie. But if anything, if you're going to be working that route, throw that die. This is probably what they're doing. They probably have a dice with different ethnicities on each side. Let's see what he's going to be. Asian, all right.
There you go. That may be the way that we don't actually know. So that is entirely plausible to me. Okay. Our last story in our geek news is going to be McDonald's is finally bringing back the Schwagen sauce from...
the Schwan is here to stay.
Technically from Mulan, from the 1998 promotional work for Mulan, but it more recently became popularized in Rick and Morty when it became the core part of that particular season storyline. That's why Rick was doing all this stuff, just to bring back Schwagen sauce in some particular timeline, because he could never get it again. It was so awesome and amazing. It was a whole bit. But it became such a thing that McDonald's actually did it for like a little bit. And then they ran out and people lost their shit.
They were literally bidding crazy money on eBay to get a little packet of whatever. They were coming a crazy movie. Not hating on my chick that loved the man.
Yeah, sorry. A couple comments from chat room saying, Yolanda Ontivero says, yes, I would watch that, referring to the Hispanic, this Hispanic Charmed. And she said, don't hate on Machete.
Oh, no, love Machete.
Yeah, I absolutely love him. I understand he's too old to be Magnum PI. Like, I'm sorry.
If you wanted to be Giles.
Or we could be Buddy, I guess, from the army. That would work. It's just if you want a character to last and to hit with the younger audience, I'm sorry, he's not the guy.
Giles would nice.
He definitely appeals to the Hispanic audience, but like the slightly older Hispanic audience, not the younger ones. But there you go. So Schwagen sauce is going to be out on February the 26th, apparently, which is tomorrow.
Oh wow!
So it's real close. Like but McDonald's is also saying they're gonna have enough for everybody. Please don't hate them, because they got a lot of hate on Twitter when they ran out. Like this is an actual news story, unlike your local news when it ran out.
It's just like a large quantity of adult children. And
like literally, this product went online for like 10s or 30 times what it actually costs. Like somebody would get it free from McDonald's. They'd sell online for upwards of $300. So I'm like, that's speculation.
You know what? I never had it, even when it was during the Mulan phase. So I'm gonna try it when it comes out.
Totally, absolutely, kind of fun. Okay, that's it for our geek news. We're gonna move into our major show, and then that's gonna be the end of the show. We have 4 trailers for you folks that came out this week. Not a lot of new amazing ones, but these are among the best of the week, including Jurassic Dead, which is a spoof of Jurassic Park, and it kind of looks crappy, but in a very funny and interesting way, folks.
Now, is it anyways of? I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch them.
Chat says Yolanda says, "Oh, she sent you a bunch of hearts because of the adopted." She liked the adopted Asian joke.
I'm funny.
Yeah.
Is it anything like, at least for talking about Jurassic Dead, anything like the Scary Movie kind of parodies? As in, is it funny?
No, it's more along like, this is like Fallout, and you can see there's some like the look of the guys. There's kind of a video game influence of it. 'Cause, like one of the big buff guys looks like Duke Nukem.
Yeah, totally.
And so there's, I think, more of a video game influence for a lot of this. Like, they're underground in a bunker looking for resources.
Now this coming out in theaters?
No, this is definitely straight to video.
I was gonna say, because
look at this. Look at these CGI. Like,
I was gonna say, this gives me the sci-fi movie feel.
This is definitely
like the Sharktopus and all that.
This is B-rated movie at best. But I think it's very interesting. Now they're throwing in CGI dinosaurs. So this is unfortunately one of the better trailers of the week. It's a slow movie trailer week, but interesting. Yeah. It is a thing. There you go. Another one is going to be Lost in Space, the series. Yeah, this is a legitimate thing on Netflix. Another reboot. I'm also hoping that this is going to be better. than the movie. If you remember the Matt LeBlanc movie,
Yep.
There's the girl from, what was it?
I just lost it. She was in my head for a second.
Yeah, she was the girl from like some television show with like a bunch of kids and some like they lost their parents or whatever. And that one was okay, I guess. I think Matt LeBlanc was supposed to be like his breakout role out of that Joey Friends role. He was playing big and tough, and it just didn't work out. It was there's a lot of CGI money in that movie too.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a television version of it, a series. And I think it works better as a TV series because you have the episodic nature of like each one of their little journeys. And in the age of like really good sci-fi, there's a lot you can do with this.
Well, you got to see. They definitely got that Netflix money because look at those costumes alone, man.
No, they definitely look good. But I remember if you look at like Altered Carbon, you can see that Netflix is willing to spend money on risky properties, like properties that are more adult. They do sci-fi and cyberpunk really well. And I think if this gets a good treatment in that way, it doesn't just have to be super family friendly. It can still be edgy a little bit because you have aliens, you have technology. So it's very monster of the week potentially as well. But you can also have some really cool sci-fi stuff happening. And I think has a lot of cool potential. Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
And chat room says,
bring on las luchas.
And she also says no. I'm assuming to the
reboots.
that Disney's doing.
Yeah,
and nope. So she's not a fan of that either. So thank you, chat room, for
yeah, give us some feedback.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you like it, you don't. Let's hear your side.
There you go. Okay, next one in movie trailer showdown, we have Reboot, the Guardian Code.
Oh.
And so this, you might not know what this is a remake of. There was an older television show in like the, I want to say 90s again, Reboot, which is a fully CGI animated series. And it was considered among the best of its time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in terms of like, oh, this is amazing CGI work. Like there weren't a lot of television programs who were using CGI. Like you saw it in Jurassic Park. And it looks super awesome. But this was one of the first examples of like television series using it instead of like regular hand-drawn or cel-shaded, stuff. And so now it's everywhere. But it was super important as far as like television series for guys our age, basically. And this one seems to be ruining our childhood. As far as I'm concerned, it has very much like a Power Ranger vibe, where it's human people who get scanned in to the cyberverse, and they have to go there to save everybody.
It's like Tron, but they got the Iron Man helmet screen thing happening.
I do think it's super interesting that one of the comments, one of the lines in the movie, in the trailer is like, "You're the first humans who've ever come to cyberspace to defend it." And I'm like, Tron, Tron.
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
There you go, folks. Plenty of other examples, but others. There is Megabyte. Megabyte does return.
He looks just like his character. That's awesome.
He looks worse. He looks crappier.
I like Ultra Maximal. Yeah. She was my faves on that.
Oh, and Yolanda's in the chat room says The Rock. Maybe as Magnum PI? I don't know.
Ooh.
That would awesome.
Yeah, the ones again. Here's your island guy.
That would work. Absolutely.
Yeah, he can rock a pretty good sweet mustache.
There you go. And apparently got a lot of love for the Schwarzen sauce. That's for sure. So Chad is very happy about the Schwarzen sauce. Yeah. But Reboot,
I'll check it out.
It's a trailer. It's one of the better ones. I don't know if you're sensing bias here. I'm just saying. And then we also have our last one, which is the Bleach teaser. So. Yeah.
Because let's see, we just watched Full Metal Alchemist, the live action one, so let's compare it.
This is another adaptation of an anime or manga franchise. This one seems to be a little bit darker. Yeah. And I'm not just talking about the light in this particular trailer. I mean, there's also supposed to be blood and killing.
Yeah.
This is it. There you go. It's not a ton more than the previous teaser trailer. It basically shows Ichigo's transformation from human to a Shinigami to a Soul Reaper.
I thought it sort of was supposed to be just longer. Did it get thicker?
Yeah, it's supposed to get thicker as well.
Okay.
It's supposed to be, I mean, the anime, it's like this huge thing. Like, it's literally the size of his body and his thickness as well. So this is kind of a toned down version of it.
Inuyasha-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of along the same lines.
Okay.
But that's that trailer. So of those four, man, which one was your favorite?
I'm going to go with Reboot just because I'm very curious.
There you go. See, and like I said, that Jurassic Dead doesn't look so crappy now, does it?
No, honestly, it looks like a really bad like B movie that, you want to have a couple beers and just laugh at what happens. But like they know it's a B movie. Like they're not trying to be better than a B movie. Yeah. Like they know it and they embrace it. I think that's where its strength hopefully lies. What movie did
you're picking Reboot. I'm going to go with Jurassic Dead. I mean, Lost in Space looks like it has potential, but the trailer itself tells you virtually nothing about it, other than family in space that you know is going to get lost. But Jurassic Dead at least looks original, and it is very much in the line of like Sharknado or Sharktopus,
like the sci-fi movies,
Piranha or whatever. But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
The lava tarantula. Oh yeah, like I said, one thing that I've noticed when it came to certain B movies always gave like an opportunity for a lot of no-name actors or people that are trying to transition into the acting world, which is usually some kind of hip-hop artist or low-grade celebrity trying to break out into the movie world. But yeah, I'll Jurassic Park I'll check out, but Reboot is the one that's getting my attention.
Well, there you go. So I hope I'm going to go with Jurassic Dead. I'll watch Lessons. I'll watch most of these probably when they come out anyways. That's never the point. But like I said, Jurassic Dead works for me. Reboot works for you. And there you go, folks. Those are your winners for the Movie Trailer Showdown of the week. And that's it for the show, folks. Thanks a lot for listening, for watching, and for just hanging out with us. It's always fun. If you want to support us in any way, shape, or form, you can find out all the ways you do so at
geekbytespodcast.com/support.
There you go. And thanks a lot for listening and for watching. And for Geek Bytes Podcast, I am Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Acosta.
And remember, folks, to go geek out about something.